Successful people don't have more time than you. They just refuse to live like victims of their own weakness, while you're making excuses about being too busy. High achievers are waking up at 5 a.m. to build empires before you've finished hitting snooze. The difference isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. It's that they've learned to override their primitive brain's addiction to comfort and instant gratification. Every time you choose Netflix over your novel, scrolling over studying, or complaining over creating, you're training yourself to be mediocre. The harsh reality is that your current daily habits are a perfect prediction of your future life. And if you don't like where you're headed, the problem isn't your circumstances, it's your character. Most people would rather stay comfortable in their mediocrity than face the temporary discomfort of becoming extraordinary. Right now, as you sit here, something precious is slipping away from you. Something more valuable than money, more precious than gold, more important than any possession you own. And the tragic truth is, most people are throwing it away by the handful every single day without even knowing it. I'm talking about your time, your life, your one shot at making something extraordinary happen. Let me tell you about Michael, a brilliant marketing executive I met 3 years ago. Michael thought he had everything under control. He was smart, educated, worked for a Fortune 500 company, made good money. But one day, Michael did something that changed his life forever. He calculated how much time he was actually wasting. What he found shocked him to his core. Michael tracked his days for 2 weeks. Every minute, every activity, every distraction. When he added it all up, he discovered something that made his stomach drop. Out of his 16 waking hours each day, he was only spending 4 hours on activities that actually moved his life forward. 4 hours. That means he was wasting 12 hours every single day. But here's where it gets really scary. Michael multiplied those wasted hours over a year. 12 hours times 365 days equals 4.38 hours of wasted time annually. That's the equivalent of throwing away 2.1 full years of his life every single decade. Think about that for a moment in a 40-year career. Michael was literally throwing away 8.4 years of his life. 8.5 years. Gone, vanished, never to return. When Michael realized this, he sat in his car and cried, not because he was weak, but because he finally understood what was really happening to his dreams, his goals, his potential. He was murdering his own future, one wasted minute at a time. And here's the brutal truth. Michael's story is not unique. It's the story of millions of people walking around right now, living in what I call time poverty without even knowing it. The average person checks their phone 96 times per day. That's once every 10 minutes during waking hours. Each check takes about 23 seconds. But here's the killer. It takes an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus on what you were doing before. So every phone check is actually stealing nearly half an hour of your productive time. Do the math. 96 phone checks times 23 minutes of lost focus equals 2.208 minutes of destroyed productivity per day. That's 36.8 hours in a single day. The average person loses more focused time than exists in that day. It's impossible math, which means most people are living in a constant state of scattered, unfocused, unproductive chaos. But it gets worse. The average person spends 2 hours and 31 minutes on social media daily. That's 919 hours per year. Nearly 23 full work weeks spent scrolling through other people's highlight reels while your own life sits in the waiting room. The average person watches 2 hours and 49 minutes of television daily. That's another 1.028 hours annually. Combined with social media, that's 1.947 hours, almost an entire year of full-time work instead of creating your own success. And we haven't even talked about the time spent complaining, gossiping, worrying about things you can't control, attending meetings that accomplish nothing, checking email compulsively, or engaging in the 1,000 other small activities that feel productive but produce zero results. There are 3 invisible time thieves operating in your life right now. And they're more dangerous than any burglar because they steal something you can never replace. The first thief is distraction. Every notification, every ping, every interruption is reaching into your life and stealing your focus. Your attention is being hijacked by forces that profit from your distraction. Your phone isn't just a communication device, it's a slot machine designed to create addiction. And every buzz is pulling the handle. The second thief is procrastination. This is the voice in your head that says, I'll start tomorrow, I'll do it later, I need to be in the right mood first. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's fear wearing a disguise. It's your mind's way of protecting you from the possibility of failure by ensuring you never try. The third thief is perfectionism. This is the lie that tells you it's better to do nothing than to do something imperfectly. Perfectionism isn't about high standards, it's about paralysis. It's the enemy of progress, the killer of momentum, the destroyer of dreams. These 3 thieves work together like a criminal gang. Distraction breaks your focus, procrastination delays your action, and perfectionism prevents you from starting. They've probably been robbing you for years, and you've been letting them do it. But here's what the research shows about people who master their time versus those who don't. Time masters earn more money, they have better relationships, they experience less stress, they achieve their goals faster, they live longer, healthier, happier lives. They sleep better at night because they know they're making progress on what matters most. Time wasters, on the other hand, live in constant frustration. They feel busy but unproductive. They work hard but don't get ahead. They have good intentions but poor results. They go to bed each night with that nagging feeling that another day has passed without real progress. The difference isn't talent, it isn't luck, it isn't circumstances. The difference is how they treat time. Your time is your life, converted into units. Every hour you waste is an hour of your life you'll never get back. Every day you squander is a day closer to your deadline without meaningful progress. Every week you throw away is a week that could have changed everything. But here's the good news that changes everything. Starting right now, this very moment, you can stop being a victim of time theft and become a master of time creation. Why do intelligent people make such poor choices with their time? Why do we know what we should be doing but consistently do something else instead? Why does a part of us actually resist the very activities that would improve our lives? The answer lies in understanding how your brain works against your best interests. Your brain has 2 operating systems. The first is your primitive brain, the same brain that kept your ancestors alive 50 years ago. This brain is wired for immediate survival, not long-term success. It seeks pleasure, avoids pain, and conserves energy. It's the part of you that says, eat the donut, skip the workout, watch one more episode, check your phone just once more. Your primitive brain doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't understand delayed gratification. It can't see the connection between today's actions and tomorrow's results. All it knows is right now, and right now it wants comfort, entertainment, and ease. Your second operating system is your conscious mind, your prefrontal cortex. This is where your goals live, where your values reside, where your long-term thinking happens. This brain can see the future. It understands consequences. It knows that short-term sacrifice leads to long-term reward. But here's the problem. Your primitive brain is stronger. It's been around longer. It operates faster. It doesn't need your permission to take control. And every time you give in to distraction, every time you procrastinate, every time you choose the easy path over the right path, you're strengthening your primitive brain's control over your life. This is why people can read books about success but never apply what they learn. This is why someone can attend a seminar, get motivated, make plans, and then go home and do exactly what they were doing before. Their conscious mind wants to change, but their primitive brain wants to stay safe in the familiar. Your primitive brain has convinced you that your comfort zone is actually a safety zone. It whispers lies like, you don't need to push yourself today. Tomorrow will be a better time to start. You're not really ready yet. What if you fail? These aren't helpful thoughts. They're prison bars disguised as protection, but the comfort zone is really a danger zone. Because while you're staying comfortable, time is passing. While you're avoiding risk, opportunities are disappearing. While you're protecting yourself from the possibility of failure, you're guaranteeing the reality of regret. The fear that drives procrastination isn't really fear of failure, it's fear of judgment. Your primitive brain is terrified that if you try something important and don't succeed perfectly, other people will think less of you. So it convinces you to delay, to wait for the perfect moment, to prepare a little more, to research just a bit longer. But perfectionism isn't about excellence, it's about paralysis. Perfectionism says if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. It's the philosophy of the person who never writes the book because they're afraid it won't be good enough. Never starts the business because they don't have every detail figured out. Never asks for the promotion because they might hear no. Perfectionism creates what psychologists call analysis paralysis, the state of overthinking a decision to the point where no decision gets made. You research endlessly, you plan obsessively, you wait for more information, better conditions, perfect timing. But perfect timing never comes because perfect doesn't exist. Meanwhile, technology companies have figured out exactly how to exploit your primitive brain's weaknesses. They've hired teams of neuroscientists and behavioral psychologists to make their products irresistible. Every app on your phone is designed to trigger dopamine releases in your brain. Every notification is engineered to create a little hit of pleasure that makes you want more. Social media platforms use what's called variable reward scheduling, the same psychological principle that makes gambling addictive. You never know when you'll get that next like, comment, or message. So your brain keeps checking, hoping for the reward. Your phone has become a slot machine, and you are pulling the handle every few minutes. The instant gratification economy has rewired your brain to expect immediate rewards for minimal effort. But real success requires the exact opposite, delayed gratification through sustained effort. This creates an internal conflict between what you want right now and what you want most. Your primitive brain can't understand why you would choose difficulty today for a reward that won't come for months or years. It can't see the connection between doing 50 push-ups today and being healthier next year. It can't comprehend why you'd skip watching television to work on a skill that might pay off someday. But successful people have learned to override their primitive programming. They've developed what psychologists call executive control, the ability to make their conscious mind stronger than their automatic responses. They feel the pull of distraction, but they don't follow it. They hear the voice of procrastination, but they don't obey it. They recognize perfectionism's paralysis, but they act anyway. Now that you understand why your brain works against your time management goals, let me give you a system that works with your psychology instead of fighting against it. This isn't theory. This is the exact system used by top performers in every field. The foundation of all time mastery is the 80/20 principle. This law states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your activities. In your work life, 20% of your tasks produce 80% of your value. In your personal life, 20% of your activities create 80% of your happiness. Most people spend their days working on the 80% of activities that produce only 20% of results. They answer every email immediately. They attend every meeting they are invited to. They say yes to every request. They focus on being busy instead of being productive. High performers do the opposite. They identify the 20% of activities that create 80% of their results, and they protect that time like their life depends on it, because it does, to find your 20%. Ask yourself this question every morning. What are the 3 things I could accomplish today that would make the biggest difference in my life? Not the easiest things, not the most urgent things. Once you know what matters most, you need to separate the urgent from the important. Urgent tasks demand immediate attention, but often contribute little to your long-term goals. Important tasks may not have immediate deadlines, but they're the activities that actually move your life forward. Most people live in reaction mode, constantly responding to urgent demands while their important goals collect dust. They answer emails all day, but never work on their business plan. They attend meetings that accomplish nothing, while their personal development sits on the shelf. They handle other people's emergencies while their own dreams remain emergencies. The solution is time blocking, the practice of scheduling specific blocks of time for specific activities. Instead of hoping you'll find time for what matters, you create time for what matters. Here's how it works. Every Sunday evening, you plan your entire week. You block out time for your most important activities first, before anything else gets scheduled. Your health gets blocked first. Your most important work projects get blocked next. Your family time gets blocked. Your learning and development get blocked. Everything else fits around these non-negotiable blocks. But here's the secret that most time management systems miss. You can't manage time. You can only manage energy. Time is constant. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. But energy varies dramatically throughout the day. And high performers schedule their most important work during their peak energy hours. Most people have their highest mental energy in the first 2 to 4 hours after they wake up. This is when your brain is fresh, your willpower is strongest, your focus is sharpest. Yet most people waste these golden hours checking emails, reading news, or handling routine tasks that require minimal mental energy. High performers flip this upside down. They use their peak hours for their peak priorities. They work on their most important projects when their brain is operating at maximum capacity. They save the low energy tasks like emails and administrative work for later in the day when their mental energy naturally declines. Single tasking is another non-negotiable principle. Your brain cannot actually multitask. It can only switch rapidly between tasks, and every switch costs you time and energy. Research shows that multitasking can reduce your productivity by up to 40%. High performers batch similar tasks together and focus on one thing at a time. They turn off notifications. They close unnecessary browser tabs. They put their phone in another room. They create an environment that supports focus instead of destroying it. Finally, they ruthlessly eliminate low-value activities. They say no to good opportunities so they can say yes to great ones. They delete, delegate, or automate tasks that don't require their unique talents. They understand that every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that matters. Knowing what to do and actually doing it are two completely different things. The gap between knowledge and action is where most people get stuck. Let me give you the specific tactics that bridge that gap. Start with the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. Don't write it down. Don't schedule it for later. Don't think about it. Just do it right now. This prevents small tasks from accumulating into overwhelming piles that steal your mental energy. But if a task takes more than 2 minutes, you have 3 choices. Schedule it, delegate it, or delete it. Never let it sit in your mind, taking up mental space. Every Sunday, spend 30 minutes planning your entire week. This isn't just about scheduling appointments. It's about designing your week around your priorities. Look at your calendar and ask, does this week reflect what I say is most important to me? If the answer is no, make changes. Every evening, spend 10 minutes planning tomorrow. Write down your 3 most important tasks. Not 5, not 10. 3. Your brain can only handle a limited number of priorities before everything becomes a priority, which means nothing is a priority. Technology should serve you, not enslave you. Turn off every notification except phone calls and texts from your family. Check email at scheduled times, not constantly throughout the day. Use your phone's do not disturb mode during focused work sessions. Here's a powerful technique. Put your phone in airplane mode for the first hour of your day. Use that hour for your most important work before the world starts making demands on your attention. This single change can transform your productivity because you're using your best energy for your best work instead of giving it away to other people's priorities. Create accountability systems that make it harder to fail than to succeed. Tell someone about your commitments. Schedule appointments with yourself that you treat as seriously as appointments with your boss. Set up automatic systems that move you toward your goals even when motivation is low. Learn to handle interruptions without losing your focus. When someone interrupts you, say, I'm in the middle of something important right now. Can I get back to you at 3 p.m.? Most interruptions aren't actually urgent. They're just convenient for the person doing the interrupting. Master the art of saying no without feeling guilty. Every request for your time is someone asking you to make their priorities more important than your own priorities. You can say no politely. That sounds like a great opportunity, but I can't commit to it right now because I'm focused on other projects. Build momentum through small wins. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one area of time waste and eliminate it completely before moving to the next. Success breeds success, but only if you actually succeed at something first. Track your time for 1 week without trying to change anything. Just measure where your time actually goes versus where you think it goes. Most people are shocked by what they discover. You can't manage what you don't measure. Let me tell you about Jennifer, a 34-year-old accountant who felt like her life was slipping away one day at a time. 3 years ago, Jennifer was stuck in a cycle that millions of people will recognize. She woke up each morning with good intentions, went to bed each night with regrets, and wondered why her dreams never seemed to get any closer. Jennifer worked 50 hours a week at a job that paid the bills but didn't fulfill her. She spent her evenings collapsed on the couch, scrolling through social media and watching Netflix. Her weekends disappeared into a blur of household chores, mindless entertainment, and the vague anxiety that comes from knowing you're not living up to your potential. She had dreams, big dreams. Jennifer wanted to start her own financial consulting business. She wanted to write a book about personal finance for young families. She wanted to get in the best shape of her life. She wanted to learn Spanish and travel through South America. She wanted to build a life that excited her instead of one that just exhausted her. But every day, those dreams felt further away instead of closer. Every week that passed was another week of staying exactly where she was. Every month was another month of watching her life happen. Then one Sunday evening in March, something inside Jennifer snapped. She was lying on her couch, halfway through her 3rd hour of watching other people live interesting lives on Instagram, when she suddenly thought, what if I die tomorrow? What would I regret most? The answer hit her like a physical blow. She wouldn't regret the risks she took. She wouldn't regret the time she failed. She would regret all the time she wasted, all the evenings spent on the couch instead of building her business, all the weekends lost to mindless entertainment instead of writing her book, all the mornings she hit the snooze button instead of going to the gym. That night, Jennifer made a decision that changed everything. She decided to treat her time like what it actually was, her life converted into units that she would never get back. She started with just 1 hour every morning before work. From 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., Jennifer worked on her business plan, not when she felt like it, not when she had extra energy, every single morning, no exceptions. The first week was brutal. Her primitive brain screamed at her to hit snooze. It whispered that she was tired, that she deserved more sleep, that one day off wouldn't hurt. But Jennifer had made a deal with herself. She would show up for her own life every single day, even when she didn't feel like it, especially when she didn't feel like it. By the end of the first month, something miraculous started happening. That one focused hour each morning was producing more progress toward her dreams than entire months of trying to find time ever had. She had completed her business plan, researched her target market, and started building her first financial planning templates. But the real transformation wasn't in her external results. It was in how she saw herself. For the first time in years, Jennifer looked in the mirror and liked who she saw, not because her life was perfect, but because she was finally someone who kept promises to herself. She was finally living like her dreams mattered. The momentum started building. That one protected hour each morning gave Jennifer a sense of control and progress that energized her entire day. She found herself making better choices throughout the day because she was already winning before most people were awake. 6 months later, Jennifer expanded her morning routine to 90 minutes. 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. became sacred time. She worked on her business for an hour, then spent 30 minutes on her fitness. No phone, no email, no distractions, just Jennifer investing in Jennifer. By month 9, she had finished the first draft of her book. By month 12, she had landed her first 3 consulting clients. By month 18, she was making enough from her side business to cut back to part-time at her day job. 2.5 years later, Jennifer owns a thriving financial consulting firm, has published her book, speaks at conferences across the country, has lost 35 pounds. And yes, she spent 3 weeks in Argentina practicing the Spanish she learned during her lunch breaks. But here's what Jennifer discovered that changed everything. The secret wasn't finding more time. The secret was protecting the time she already had and investing it in becoming the person she wanted to be. Jennifer realized that every single day you are creating your future self through your choices. Every hour you invest in your growth compounds over time. Every day you choose progress over comfort, you become stronger. Every week you prioritize what matters most, you move closer to the life you actually want. But the opposite is also true. Every day you choose comfort over growth. You stay exactly where you are. Every week you let other people's priorities dominate your time. You move further from your own dreams. Every month you postpone what matters most. You guarantee that it will never happen. Time isn't just ticking away, it's building something. The question is, what are you building with yours? Your future self is watching the choices you make right now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You will either thank yourself for the decisions you make today, or you will regret the opportunities you let slip away. Here's what I want you to do right now. Before you leave here, before you get distracted by the next thing, make one commitment to your future self. Pick one area where you've been wasting time and decide to reclaim that time starting tomorrow morning. Maybe it's getting up 30 minutes earlier to work on your most important project. Maybe it's turning off your phone for the first hour of your day. Maybe it's saying no to activities that don't align with your priorities. Maybe it's scheduling time for your health, your relationships, your personal growth. Whatever it is, make it specific, make it measurable, make it non-negotiable, and then do it every single day for the next 30 days. no matter how you feel, no matter what else is happening in your life. Because here's the truth. You don't need more time. You need more focus on what matters. You don't need perfect conditions. You need consistent action. You don't need to change everything. You just need to stop wasting the one resource that once it's gone, you can never get back. Your time is your life. Your choices determine your destiny. Your habits shape your future. The time thieves have stolen enough from you, starting right now. It's time to take your life back, one focused hour at a time. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. Don't let them down.